in the involute curves. First of all, what is an involute curve of a circle? How this curve is developed? What is the history behind that? See, involute curve is nothing but the path traced by the string which is already tied around the circle. For example, if consider it is a circular plate or circular element, I am going to wound a string around that, just like a thread. Just like a thread, I am just winding it around the periphery of the circle. And what will be the length of that string? A logical question. If I wound a string or a thread just around the periphery of the circle, and what will be the length of the string? It is equal to the circumference of the circle. Okay, circumference of the circle. And then if I unwound it, and just leave it in that way, I am just unwounding the string and I leave it like that in the flat surface. So this length is nothing but the circumference of the circle. If the circle's radius is r, what will be this length? 2 pi r. 2 pi r. Now, what is the involute? Involute is nothing but the path traced by the tip of the thread during the unwounding process. See, I am just start to release the thread from this circle and I am going to leave it like that. So if I started that, the tip of the circle, the tip of the thread will follow this path, and then this will come to this place. So this path, the path traced by the tip of the thread is nothing but the involute curve. We are going to draw this involute curve by using the circle's diameter. The one and only given data in this question is the diameter of the circle. By knowing the diameter of the circle, by following some standard geometrical construction methods, we are going to draw the involute curve. Okay, and we can draw the tangent and the normal for that curve also. One student is already asked me what is the use of the tangent and the normal for drawing tangent and normal for any curve. What is the purpose? So actually, all the engineering curves we are drawing are having some application in some manufacturing process or in any new product development process. They are having some unique features in their after producing them as a product. So during that time, you have to be completely clear about their geometrical background. So the tangent and normal drawings will help you in some geometrical analysis in future. So for that purpose only we are drawing the tangent and normal. We are just learning how to draw the tangent and normal for the particular curve. By using that concept in future, you can go for some geometrical analysis. Okay. So now in this, we can start how to draw the involute for a circle. Let me to rub off the board. The question for this kind of problems will be like that. We have to draw visible. Okay. How to draw an involute for the circle of radius or diameter, what it may be, 50 mm. So if it is not visible, don't worry. I just written only one word. Draw an involute for the circle of diameter 50 mm. For the 50 mm diameter circle, you need to draw the involute curve, and also you need to draw the tangent and normal for the curve from any point. So first of all, we have to draw the required circle. So circle with 50 mm radius. Let me to draw the circle. Right. I just drawn a circle with a given radius 50 mm. It is actually not measuring 50 mm radius. It's an approximate value only. So after drawing the circle, you need to split the circle into 12 equal parts. Yes, you can split it into 4 equal parts or 8 equal parts or 12 equal parts. How much the higher the partition, the curve accuracy will be better. If you split it into 4 equal parts, now that also you can draw a involute. But the smoothness of the curve is somewhat lower only. If you split this circle into 12 equal parts, then the accuracy and the smoothness and the appearance of the curve will be better when compared with the 4 split up. So preferably you have to split this circle into 12 equal parts. For that, you can go for using your drafter. First split it into 2 equal parts. And one more point I want to add here, these things should be done with the help of your 2H pencil. Okay, so using the appropriate pencil in order to show the difference between the various objects in the paper is very much important in our engineering graphics. In our engineering graphics, we have to show the objects with the higher darkness. For that, we needed to use the HB pencil, and we needed to use the 2H pencil for showing or for drawing the projector lines and dimension lines and dimension reference lines. For these all kind of geometrical works which are all not coming under the category of the object, you have to use the 2H pencil. You have to show them very mild only. The actual object one should be visible in higher darkness. So these are all the construction works I am doing now. I just drawn a circle and then I am going to split it into 12 equal parts. For that purpose, I am drawing some lines inside the circle. So these are all nothing but the constructional jobs. These jobs should be done with the help of the 2H pencil only. Now I just split it into 4 equal parts. The actual aim is to split it into 12 equal parts. I have to measure 30° for each sector. So 30, 60 and 90. And for the splitting this quadrant and that quadrant, I need not to take the angle once again. With some simple geometrical trick, I can do this. See here. So in this way, I can split the circle into 12 equal parts, and then you can name it. So starting from 0, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11, and this will be 12. Okay, just leave it. And then from the point 0, the lowermost point, you have to draw a line, a horizontal line, a purely horizontal line with a measurement equal to the circumference of the circle. So this circle's radius is 50 mm. Radius is 50 mm. So find out the circumference 2 pi r. How much it is? So for that much length, you have to draw the line. maybe this length approximately. Okay, so the length of this horizontal line from 0 up to this point is nothing but the length, the circumference of the circle, 2 pi r. After that, you need to split it into 12 equal parts. The line is also measures some value. You need to split it into 12 equal parts. I think in the chapter ellipse itself, I just instruct you how to split a line into number of equal parts by using a pilot line method. So for example, if I am having a line with any length, if I want to split it into number of equal parts, then I can go for using the pilot line method. Unless the line is having some irregular length. For example, if a line is length 120 mm, if you want to split it into 12 equal parts, very simply with the 10 mm segments you can split it. Until if the line is measures 167 mm, if you want to split it into 12 equal parts, if you divide it divided by 12, the value what you will get for a single segment length is not able to measure with the help of your linear scale. So in that type of situation, it is not possible to have the accurate splitting up in the line. So you need to go for some special methods to split the line into number of equal parts. For that purpose, a method is available. It is pilot line method. I already instructed it in the previous videos. That is, in order to split a line into number of equal parts, first you have to draw the line. After that, from the left end of the line, you have to draw a line with known length. For example, if I suppose to split it, the object line into 8 equal parts, then I have to draw a line which is able to split into 8 equal parts easily. Say 80 mm. So with the 80 mm length, I am drawing a line which is approximately inclined at 30 degree to the object line. Approximately. You can measure 0 to 90 degree. You can draw 0 to 90 degree. But 30 degree will be an optimum value. So with approximately 30 degree inclination, you have to draw a line with a known length which is able to split into 8 equal parts accurately. Okay, so say 80 mm. So I splitted it into 8 equal parts. I just splitted it into 8 equal parts. Then what I needed to do is, I needed to connect the two terminals of the lines, pilot line terminal and object line terminal. Just connect these two. After that, use your drafter. Actually, this is not the drafter, okay? Use your drafter and set one scale of the drafter parallel to the connector line, and with respect to that line, draw the parallel lines from each and every terminal of the pilot line towards the object line. In this way, if you split, then now see the object line is splitted into equally 8 equal parts with a higher accuracy. So this is nothing but a simple method to split any line with any number of equal parts. Even you need not to know the length of the line also. See here, I don't know the length of the object line here. Without knowing its length, I can split it into any number of equal parts by using this method. So in the same way, here also I am having a line which is equal to the circumference of the circle, and I need to split it into 12 equal parts. The same pilot line method you can use here. So in this way, you can split it into 12 equal parts. Here I am roughly splitting it, okay? I just splitted it into 12 equal parts, and I am going to name it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Okay, name it. After that, see here, drawing the involute for the circle by using this geometrical method is a set of procedures. step 1, step 2, step 3, which are all having no link between sometimes between the consecutive steps. So you need not to worry about that. It's just a procedure. Okay. At the end of the procedure, you are going to get the requirement. So just follow the procedures one by one in the proper sequence. The sequence is very important. If you just bypass the step 3 and going for the step 4, it's not possible to complete the diagram. You without collapsing the sequence, you have to follow the procedure one by one. First you are going to draw the circle and you are going to split it into 12 equal parts, and then draw a line, horizontal line from the bottom end of the circle with the length equal to the circumference of the circle. Again you are going to split that line into 12 equal parts. So up to this much we done. Now what is the next step? In the next step, what you need to do it, now your drafter is going to play a major role here. One more point I want to insist here, students. Whenever during the lecture session, if I instruct you to use the drafter, then you have to strictly use your drafter. Okay, so the drafter is the very important tool in our engineering draft, and this will eliminate a lot of errors, and this will reduce lot of burden in your work. Okay, so don't hesitate to use the drafter. By using the drafter, we are getting benefited. We are not loading ourselves. Okay, by using the drafter, we are getting benefited only. There is no additional work on using the drafter. Okay, now use your drafter and set one scale of the drafter parallel to this O1. O is nothing but the center of the circle, and 1 is the first sector terminal. So O1 is the line. So one scale of the drafter should be parallel to the O1. Automatically another scale will be perpendicular to O1, because the drafter scale is an L scale. Okay. So in that way, just set your drafter and draw a line from 1. From 1. This line should be perpendicular to O1. Okay, this line should be perpendicular to O1. By using drafter only, this can be done with higher accuracy. If you roughly do it with any scale or anything else, definitely possibilities are there for making error. So go for using the drafter. And then the same way, use your drafter, set one scale of the drafter parallel to O2, and another scale automatically become perpendicular to O2. So draw a line from 2. This line should be perpendicular to O2. The same way, from 3 you have to draw a line. This line should be perpendicular to O3. From 4 again. How much length you need to draw is approximately 5 or 6 centimeter. From 5. From 6. From 7. From 8. From 9. From 10. From 11 again. From 12, the line is already there. Just note it. If you're supposed to draw a horizontal line from this terminal, it is already there. is already there. See, in this way I just drawn some rough lines from each and every terminal of the sectors, and I made every line should be perpendicular to the corresponding center line. See, this line is perpendicular to O1 and that line is perpendicular to O2. The same way from 3, from 4, from 5, from 6, 7 up to from 12. I just drawn the 12 number of lines. And now what I needed to do next is how to use your compass. Use your compass and take measurement O1. Take measurement O1, and from 1, in the line of 1 you have to cut one arc. Okay, so take measurement in your compass O1, and from the point 1 make your point 1 as origin in the compass and cut an arc in the line drawn from 1. And the same way measure 2, 0, 2, 0, 2 in your compass, and from the point 2 and in the line 2 cut one arc, and then measure O and 3, 0, 3, 3, and from the point 3 and in the line of 3 cut another arc. In the same way measure 0, 4, from the point 4 in the line of 4 cut another arc. And measure O5, and in the line of 5, from 5 cut another arc. From O6, from the 6 in the line of 6 cut one arc. Actually I needed to draw it with higher length for arc. Right. If you cut in this way, you can produce number of arcs here. This arc will end up here. Okay, end up here. Now you can see the arcs needed to be connected with the help of the HB pencil. So starting from 0, okay, starting from 0, I have to connect all these arcs. I have to connect all these arcs. This is nothing but the required involute curve for the given circle. So in this way you can draw the involute. See what I actually did from the beginning. I will summarize the things what I did. First I drawn the circle, and then you have to split the circle into 12 equal parts and draw a line, a horizontal line from the bottom end of the circle. The length of the line should be equal to the circumference of the circle, and then split the line into 12 equal parts, same as the circle, and then from each and every terminal of the circle I have to draw a tangent line. See here, this line is actually the tangent line drawn from 1, and this is actually one more tangent line for the circle drawn from the point 2. And the same way this line is the tangent line for this circle drawn from the point 3. In this way you have to draw number of tangent line from each and every terminal of the circular periphery, and that should be perpendicular to the corresponding inner line. Okay. After drawing these lines, now you need to use your compass, measure 0, 1, and from the point 1 in the tangent of 1 cut a arc. Okay, and measure 0, 2, from the point 2 and in the tangent of 2 cut one more arc. In the same way cut number of arcs in the each and every line. After that, you have to connect all the arcs to get the required involute curve. So in this way, you can draw the involute curve. After that, you are going to draw the tangent and the normal for this curve. And let me to give you the procedure how to draw the tangent and normal. First, you have to select any one point to draw the tangent and normal. For example, I am selecting this point here in the curve. You can select any, you can mark any point in the curve. You need not to go for that. You can mark the point here or there or anywhere in the curve. For that point, you can draw the tangent and normal. I am, for this demonstration purpose, I am marking a point here. In this point, I am going to draw the tangent and normal for the involute curve. Okay. First, mark the point and then connect this point and the center of the circle by using scale. Connect that point for which we need to draw the tangent and normal with the center of the circle. I just connected. And now measure the length of this connecting line. The line which is connecting the point P, for which we are going to draw the tangent and normal, and the center O. So measure the length PO, measure it and mark the midpoint. If it is 60 mm, at the span of 30 mm, we can mark the center. And after marking the center, by using our compass, just draw a semicircle. Just draw a semicircle. See here in this way. You can draw a semicircle. This semicircle will cut the circle at a point. This is actually our actual generator circle. This actual generator circle and this semicircle will intersect each other in a particular point. Say in this point, these two are intersecting with each other. So after marking this point, now connect this intersecting point and the point P by using the scale. This line is nothing but the normal line. The normal line for the curve. This line is nothing but the normal line. And what is actually tangent? The line which is perpendicular to the normal is nothing but the tangent. So use your drafter, set your drafter's one scale parallel to the normal, then automatically another scale will become perpendicular to that normal. So by using that, through that point P, you can draw one more line. So this line is nothing but the tangent line for the given involute curve. Okay. In this way, you can draw the normal line and the tangent line for the given for the drawn involute curve. So in this way, you can draw the involute curve for the given circle, and you can draw the tangent and normal for that.